What if the Stellar type was an actual type with new evolutions in Pokemon? That's what I'm here today to fix. Now Terapagos won't be forever alone. All the Pokemon here today are very gem-like or gem-adjacent, so let's say that the Stellar type is sort of like the Crystal type to accompany Rock, Ground, and Steel.
Flint and Steel.
We aren't gonna beat around the area zero here, let's just jump straight into it with our first Pokemon, Sableye. Now the irony of having a Pokemon that evolves into a type based around crystals when they're 100% all about noshing down on them isn't lost on me. But the idea was just too good of a Sableye kind of stumbling around Area Zero and then just going to town feasting on all the yummy crystals there. And evolving because it was engorged. Yeah, that's a bad word to use. My idea here was to mix Sableye with that of a bit of a Geode. No, not Geodude, a Geode. You know, those sick rocks you see at market stalls all the time. The name I chose for this one was Terastallize, and I think that it's a perfect way to start the video. Now, I'm not about stats or balance or anything like that, so I can't say for sure what the weaknesses, resistances, and immunities of the Stellar type would be, but I imagine it'd be one of those more defensive, stronger types on their own, up there with Dragon, Fairy, and Steel. Maybe even being weak to only Stellar types, and maybe one other type like Dragon type used to be till our Fey overlords took over. I think that this does give a bit of a Gengar energy, but honestly, it kind of rocks. Rocks. Terastallize, the Gem Munch Pokemon, a Stellar and Ghost type. Sableye evolves into Terastallize when any stone is used on it while being Stellar Terra type. Terastallize are found mainly in Area Zero, completely engorged on the crystals found in the area. Their stomachs are made of that same crystal and will glow when a nearby Pokemon terastallizes. It will use its sharp teeth to chew on terastallized Pokemon to almost no avail, but it will never give up, a trait it brings over from their Gem Ravenous pre-evolution. Terastallize have the abilities Keen Eye and a new ability called Rock Muncher, where if it's hit by a Rock-type move, the Pokemon has its HP restored instead of taking damage. Essentially a Rock-type version of Earth Eater. Of course, a new type, we need an evolution to cover it. Sorry, all the other types, maybe I'll cover you in another video. I wanted an evolution to encapsulate the idea of stellar energy, and I mean, we already have that in Terapagos, so why not make this new evolution like Terapagos? Not a turtle or anything, although that'd be funny. Kind of reminds me of that cat wearing the cap. Nullion here, named after Area Zero, keeps that royalty sort of feeling we get from the Stellar Terra type. Getting a hair tuft crowned and almost a royal beard, much like Terapagos' stellar form. I went pretty hard with these designs, especially trying to give every design here a really cool crystalline design. And then I got out here with the Nullion including like one single gem, but hey, I think this one is kind of sick. And I can see it being like a boss battle titan if we ever had this new type in Scarlet and Violet originally. To cap it all up, I gave it these striking glowing eyes, and man, it just looks so intimidating. Hence why I gave it the Intimidate ability. Nullion, the Zero Pokemon, a pure Stellar type. Eevee evolves into Nullion when attempting to evolve it into any form while in Area Zero. The energy from Area Zero unlocks a strange mutation in Eevee. Nullion is a pompous and proud Pokemon, but wildly protective of its trainer. The energy that flows within them comes out in the form of shimmering patterns in their neck and tail fur. Nullion will sometimes sit silently, staring towards the stars. Some say that it is seeing both the past and future all at once in that moment. Nullion have the abilities Intimidate and Rivalry. Now why would I choose Tangela here for a Stellar evolution with Tangrowth already there? Just shut up. I just have a new appreciation for the line and wanted to give it an Evo. Unlike Tangrowth that grows wider and vinier, that isn't a word, but whatever. In this new evolution, a Tangela stumbled upon a big ol' Area Zero crystal and evolved into it. Now using it as a sort of source of energy and becoming a bit more alien-like, becoming this sort of weird vine tripod like a creature from War of the Worlds. And their little feetsies dangling down below, now just balancing a huge get-out crystal on their head. It kind of gives it a bit of a silhouette of it looking like a human or even a grey alien if you squint. The body doesn't make a massive amount of sense having the crystal in there, but Either it's just sitting in front of the body, or Tangleen here is some kind of donut-shaped creature that has slotted the gem into its body nice and snugly. I think stellar, meaning alien and weird evos, is also kind of a cool motif to go along with the crystalline idea anyway, and being connected to sort of, I guess, dreamlike version past Paradox and future Paradox Pokemon, it all kind of works in a way. Tangela, the balanced Pokemon of Grass and Stellar type. Tangela evolves into Tangela when holding a Terra Shard and walking in Let's Go for 1,000 steps. Tangela have gained a reliance on the large crystals it holds in its vines. These crystals absorb sunlight and give Tangela that same energy even when the sun doesn't shine. Due to this energy, Tangela grow incredibly tall and long. Instead of using their small legs, they rely on long tendrils to walk around. These are so strong that Tangela are almost impossible to topple. Tangela has a new ability called Peerless Balance, where this Pokemon has immunity to flinches and being forced out of battle. New Reggie time! This one was a bit of a challenge to figure out, but I had the good lad Regidrago to thank for the shape design here. I took the sort of half globe that Terrapagos has in its Stellar Terra form. I guess it's sort of like the world turtle dealio going on. And I thought it'd be fun if it became like some sort of shell casing for whatever that would be inside. Like Terrapagos stole the top half, so there's just some half-naked Regiterra running around. All the interesting parts are in the globe shape with the semi-crown and all that, while within is simply just a turquoise crystal with eyes. I should have warned you all this video is sponsored by the color turquoise, as all the designs here have it in some way or another. I like to imagine Regiterra closes up and morphs into just a ball most of the time, just to roll about like some kind of Star Wars droideka. Regiterra, the Terra Energy Pokemon, are pure Stellar type. Theories suggest that Regiterra may actually be a fossilized species of Pokemon that passed away in the caverns of Area Zero. Whether in the past or the future, one cannot tell. The crystal in the center is brittle compared to the rest of Regiterra, so it only ever opens up when it unleashes attacks. The shell is impenetrable but slow. Regiterra has the ability Terra Shell. Boom! Carbink Evo! Yeah, I bet you didn't expect this one. We all know that Diancie and Carbink are related, but Carbink gets shafted with almost nothing. So, what if the Stellar Energy transformed them into a new evolution? Basically, that's the entire idea. It's to make it the prince to the Diancie princess. So we keep almost the same shape language. I guess that just being of a longer Carbink, not stuffed all into the rock, but also start adding in the motifs of Diancie as well. Mainly that wonderful giant gem on her head, with this one being blue for the diamond of Carbink. But I needed to show that new stellar typing, so now it has a crown of Area Zero style crystals all over their head. I just had a thought it would be cool if each of these Pokemon also got a special form when they terrestrialize into the Stellar Terra type. Prince Suave here could become a royal king with a giant Terra crown and cape, something to match the energy of Mega Diancie. Prince Suave, the Jewel Pokemon, a Rock and Stellar type. Carbink evolves into Prince Suave at level 30 in Area Zero with a Pokemon that has the pressure ability in the party. Prince Suave are so rare that only 3 have ever been recorded to exist. The conditions that need to be met for them to evolve from Carbink mean most trainers can't handle the journey. Light shines off Prince Suave so brilliantly that any who has seen such a sight broke out into tears and has been depressed ever since. Prince Suave has the ability Clear Body. The next one came to me while I was walking, and that's a Stellar Evo for Glalie. Yeah, I know, a strange idea, but I wanted something that would show the sort of alien outer space angle of the Stellar type. I mean, Stellar does mean like amazing and something to do with the stars, and you know, right at the moment, we've only got really Psychic and Fairy for most space-themed Pokemon. Glalie, to me, when I thought about it, made me think of something like an icy asteroid, so I set out to elongate my Glalie with one simple step. I didn't want to lose too much of the Oni side of it though, so Glalie gets longer but keeps the icy outer exterior now, having multiple sharp jagged horns around its body. And those two sharp main horns now grow twisted around its body too. I'll admit the Dark Bramble and Ice Comet of the game Outer Wilds was a big inspiration for this one. Glasteroid, the frozen comet Pokemon, an Ice and Stellar type. Glalie evolves into Glasteroid with a Moonstone while having the Stellar Terra type. Glasteroid live in exceptionally cold places or in space. Their bodies require low temperatures to avoid their bodies from breaking down. The horns of Glasteroid wrap around their bodies and provide a sort of extra layer of protection and offense. A Glasteroid that smashes into a foe crushes them with no remorse and freezes the entire area over. Glasteroid have the abilities Inner Focus and Ice Body. The final one of the video has our little friend Charcadet here find a mysterious armor in Area Zero covered in crystals that trigger an evolution. Area Zero has a lot to do with the past and the future, even the crystal pool in Kitakami lets you see visions of them, so I thought it'd be cool if the Evo here felt a little sci-fi in design while also feeling a bit old-style knight. The weapon this Charcadet Evo gains the railgun of sorts. Instead of Armarouge's armor cannon, where both pieces slide together, the idea here is that the pieces of crystallized armor morph into various parts to attack. Here being sort of like a laser gun with the classic sci-fi rings around it and everything. I tried to show that when dormant they are more of a deep blue color, only lighting up and gaining that turquoise color when active and spinning around, even turning into sick booster jets here. Funny that the Charcadet Evos all feel like Mega Man main characters, but when I actually make one that is the color of Mega Man itself, it doesn't look like him at all. Maybe like a Mega Man Zero boss or something like that, if anything. Azurail, the Fire Blaster Pokemon, a Fire and Stellar type. Charcadet evolves into Azurail when exposed to crystallized armor. A set of armor fused with crystals from Area Zero now covers this Pokemon. Each piece of armor can be morphed to create various constructs. One such construct is a railgun firing off stellar energy. When pieces of Azurail's armor falls off, it can be picked up and used like a Stellar-type Terra Shard. Azurail's abilities are Flash Fire and Weak Armor. Well, how was that for Stellar-type mons? Obviously there's a whole type chart, attacks, and abilities that need to be explored further, maybe another time. But what'd you think? Comment down below and tell me what Pokemon you'd give a Stellar form or evolution to. And make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. Now return back to Area Zero, all of you, because you're all stellar. Now I'll see you next time.